Over 70% of America is overweight or obese, which means less than 30% are actually their normal weight or even underweight. Now, if we keep following that same rabbit trail, less than 10% of guys have abs. But why is it so tough to get abs? Like, why is it such a small portion of the population that actually have abs, especially a full-on six-pack? Well, a lot of people will say, well, don't you just have to move more and eat less? Yeah, pretty much. It's really that simple. If you want abs, you just have to move more and eat less. Now, real talk, everyone knows to move more and eat less, but how do you actually apply that to your life? What can you actually do to make a change day to day to actually get that six-pack abs and to actually lean out for possibly the first time in your life? Well, there's a few different things. And I'm not just talking about the physical side. It's mostly a mental game. I just got off a call with one of my clients. He said, Coach, I'm not going to lie, I'm ticked right now. I'm like, talk to me, man. What's going on? And essentially, he was saying that he doesn't have the body he wants yet. He doesn't have the physique he wants. He's been putting all this work in, but he hasn't gotten there quite yet. And we were reviewing some of his stuff. Why do you think that is? What's going on? Let's check your numbers. We have to go based off of data. And for him, his inputs are great. He's hitting his calories. He's hitting his macros. He's hitting his workouts. He has a lot of the pieces together. One of the links that was missing was sleep. And sleep is very terrible. And we have a lot of challenges around that. So we just created a foolproof plan to essentially systematize his sleep. On top of that, we had a phase where we were going about 2 months really hard, and then 2 months really light, and then 2 months really hard again, and then 2 months really light, where he felt like he was falling off every couple of months. Meaning we have not given it a long enough time horizon for him to actually see results and actually see those abs. Now the thing here is, it's not that he's been slacking or that he hasn't been pushing himself at all. It's more so the idea that building that consistency is what's really going to carry him a long way. And not just the consistency, but keeping mentally on top of it while he's building that consistency is what's truly going to matter here. I'll give you an example. Today, even right now, like I have a migraine right now. I actually feel like crap. I have not been sleeping very much at all this week, and that's on me. And now there's a few things I want to go based off of just that alone. I went to the gym today. I got a workout in. Quick workout. Pump was terrible. Nothing really in my system. Just kind of get in, get out type of day. But you want to know what really separated this day from the other days? Even though it was a terrible workout, I was weak. I just wasn't feeling it. I had little to no pump going. It was the fact that I had that mental win of being able to actually get in the gym and do something for myself. And a lot of people will automatically lose right there because they're so focused on the physical and the push. And I got to grind and I got to really push like 10 out of 10 effort in this gym right now. Or I really got to push 10 out of 10 hard on my nutrition. Like I can't have any leeway whatsoever. I'm all or nothing. And I realized that even though it was a terrible workout, even though I feel like crap, even though I still feel like crap, I'm freaking recording this video right. I don't even want to record this right now, but I felt like I needed to talk about this. I still feel terrible. But the fact that I was able to go to the gym and just do something for myself, I know that is at least a step in the right direction. Now, on top of that, I mentioned a couple minutes ago that I didn't get very good sleep this week at all. And that's actually completely my fault. I was not following my same sleep routine. I was not doing the typical wind down that I typically do. I wasn't going to bed at the same time I normally do. And I wasn't waking up at the same time I normally do. So I had all these different factors working against me, but I knew I was doing them. And I knew I was probably going to suffer because of it. Little did I know it was going to give me a rough migraine for an entire day. Now that said, you live and you learn. That's just part of it. But the one thing I think that really separates that is two things. One, taking responsibility. Like this is what actually separates the guys who get the abs versus the guys who will never get the abs, is taking ownership and accountability and responsibility over your actions, your choices, and then realize like how realistic is it with the goals you're trying to achieve. Like if you are, let's say you get terrible sleep and you're like, dude, I could just never get a good night of sleep. Okay, let's break that down. Like let's get some data on that. Are you going to bed at the same time? Are you eating a bunch of food right before? Are you having Honey Nut Cheerios before bed, spiking your insulin way up? Now you're using the restroom in the middle of the night constantly, so you're constantly awake. Like let's put some data into this first. Do you track anything? Do you know how many hours you sleep? Do you try to go to bed on a certain time or whenever? Do you have a schedule, a wind down schedule, a routine to get you into that? If the answer is no to all of those, then it's like, yeah, don't get good sleep for a reason. You probably know why. Like that is probably why. But a lot of people, they'll immediately say like, oh, well, I just can't get abs just because like my genetics, like I'm big boned and all this. And it's like, okay, so taking accountability is step one. Meaning the moment I hear a prospect say something like that, I'm like, okay, first off, completely wrong. Second off, we have a lot of reframing to do. Like we have to shift their mental state. We have to shift your mental state in order to actually get to the point of being able to realize you can make that change. But it first starts off with accountability and ownership. And I noticed that the more that I just started taking absolute accountability in my life, everything else just kind of started to line up. And it's kind of weird how that works because you would assume like the more you say, oh, this is my fault, it actually makes you look worse because it's like, oh, that guy screws up. That guy makes a lot of mistakes. That's not really cool. Even as a fitness coach, I just said, like, I just got terrible sleep this week. I have a migraine right now. Like, that's not healthy. That's not sexy. That's not fun. But as a position of authority in the health space, like, I want to be able to share that with you guys and kind of be vulnerable in that sense to where it is like, yeah, I am human. And honestly, I do own it. Like I did screw up and I knew what I was doing, but it's not an excuse for me to say, oh, well, I just been pushing so hard in the gym and my diet, it's just making me really fatigued. I want to go out and have fun with my girlfriend and I just want to do all these things. Like, no, that's not an excuse. And I guess it is an excuse, but that's the thing. Most people make too many excuses. And that's the problem is that when you take accountability, when you actually learn how to take ownership over your actions and the choices you made, especially if you've been out of shape for like 10 years, 20 years, some of my clients 30 years before actually getting back in shape, then you start to realize like this game becomes a lot easier. So when you combine ownership and responsibility, you realize it starts to play a lot more into the mental side of things where, okay, everything I do is my fault. Even if it's not my fault, it's my fault. Something out of my control, okay, might not be my fault. How can I react to this? Because it's still impacting me. Like it might not be my fault, but it is my problem. And that's the thing that a lot of people forget too. Like, yeah, you might have not caused it, but if it is an issue that you have to deal with, like getting a flat tire or getting rear-ended in a car accident, it's like, yeah, that might not have been on you, but it is the problem you have to deal with now. So how are you going to handle that? And that's one thing I just talked about with a lot of my clients today, actually, on our phone calls was, look, this isn't your fault, but how can we go about this? How are we going to react to this? And what can we do to get out of this hole, out of this gutter that you're in right now? Now, the part that ties into this especially is going to be more so the mental side of things when it comes to resilience. Literally, resilience has got to be the number one trait of people who actually get abs and people who are probably just successful in general. It's just building that toughness, if you will, to where, yeah, you are going to be a bit hungry if you're trying to lose weight. Like one of my guys today, he's trying to get there faster. Two of my guys actually, they're like, dude, I need to get there way faster. Like I want this as soon as possible. I will do what it takes. What do I have to do? And I said, hey, we're going to have to do X, Y, and Z. And for this guy, we're going to have to do A, B, and C. And I want you to focus this week. You've already been doing great in these categories. I need you to crush it in this category this week. And that will help get you there faster. And then we can add on to it. That resilience, that idea of like, why is it so hard to get abs? Like I said, one of my clients earlier, he was ticked off. He was like, dude, I just don't have it yet. Like, I don't know what's going on with me. Like, what's wrong with me? I'm like, dude, honestly, it's not that anything's wrong with you. One, we just need a long enough time horizon of pushing hard and being consistent with it to where we can't fall off every once in a while. But then at the same time, too, we have to, there's a reason why less than 10% of guys actually have abs. And it's because it is ultra hard to get there, especially if you started off around 20+% body fat, like my one client did. It's like, yeah, if you're going from 40% body fat down to a 6-pack, that is going to be a much tougher journey than someone who is maybe 15% body fat and you can already see a 2-pack and they want the 6-pack. So everyone's starting point is going to be a lot different, but building that resiliency and just having an idea of how hard can I actually push myself and how bad do I actually want this? Because a lot of people, they like to make it sound like getting abs are so easy. And like I said in the start, oh, just move more and eat less. It's like, yeah, no crap, Sherlock. Everyone and their grandma knows that. I don't need to tell my clients broccoli is healthy. you should be eating less than what you are doing. It's probably a good thing to work out. They know these things. You guys know these things. It's not, there's no secret to actually losing fat. It's the idea of how can you structure this into your lifestyle to make it actually reasonable for you. And so when it comes to building that resiliency, you have to realize like you're going to fail, you're going to screw up, you're going to have off days. So the goal, like one of the biggest things you want to do, one of the biggest things I'll do for my clients is that we build a system around them to actually allow them to see the best bang for buck possible, or at least put them in the most advantageous position to start seeing the best bang for buck, to start seeing their abs, that sort of thing. One of my clients today, especially, our whole entire day was, hey, how can we structure how efficient you are at work so you can start hitting your workouts again? He just got a new job. He's in a career change right now, doing absolutely phenomenal, but it's draining him, and he has a little bit of flexibility with it. So he has 4 separate sessions within his work block. So he gets like a 15-minute break, a 30-minute break, and then like 2 more 15-minute breaks essentially throughout the shift. And it's typically a little bit longer shift. So I said, and his whole thing is pretty much studying during this time with what he's trying to do. So I said, okay, this first session, we are going to take your practice exams. That is the time block you are going to allocate to this, where you can be ultra focused just on taking those practice tests. Session 2, you're going to come back, you're going to review the chapters on those practice tests so you can check the questions, see what you got right, see what you got wrong, go from there. Session 3, and then we just go so on and so on throughout his shift essentially. So that way he is being way more efficient at work, so he now has more energy at home and at the gym, so he can prep his food, and so he does have energy to get in a 40-minute workout, get a quick pump, get out of there, and then get to bed on time so he's not leaving work at 9 p.m. at night ultra exhausted and then trying to come back in the next day. So things like that, where it's like when you build a system in place, when you actually get specific, like on times, on dates, on things that's like, hey, what's the order of these that I'm going to do this? It becomes a lot easier. And my clients who actually get the abs, my clients who see the most success, they are the ones that have developed the strongest systems and have provided me, their coach, the most data to work with. Because the more data I have to work with, the more numbers I can see, the more I can see what you're doing throughout your day, the easier it is for me to help make a course call and call an audible for you, to where now we can put you right back on track. And now you're good to go. I just need you to execute. I tell them all the time, I will always guide you in the right direction. I just need you to share with me what's going on, what you are thinking, and then communicate that to me. How is this going? How are you feeling? What's this looking like? What's your schedule looking like? Are we having any lifestyle changes? Do you want to put your foot on the gas and really push for this, like a lot of my guys are right now? Or do you need to pull back and you need to manage life a bit more, like some of my other guys are right now? So when it comes to getting abs, like I said, there's a reason less than 10% of people actually have them. And that's because, one, they don't actually take accountability for their own actions. Like, yeah, I'm going to go out to McDonald's every single day and expect to see a 6-pack. Yeah, most people probably not, especially if you're not in that deficit. And you're definitely not going to be satiated or feeling good just eating McDonald's every single day. So on top of that, that resiliency of even when you are seeing results, you're pushing through it. And sometimes you just need that mental win as well. Like I said, when I went to the gym, feeling like crap, terrible workout. Honestly, like my head, like I was resting my head and closing my eyes each set because of how bad my head was hurting. And I still was like, you know what? When I got in my car, all just balls outside, by the way, I was like, okay, you know what? I actually feel pretty good right now. Physically terrible, but like mentally, the fact that I even got here and the fact that I just showed up, like this is progress in the right direction, and this helps myself. And I know this is helping me towards my goals. Now it's like, all right, time to knock out and actually get some sleep this week. But that at least is a win in itself. And I think a lot of people need to take the wins where they can get them. But at the same time, when you realize you're not at your dream body yet, you're not at your dream physique yet, you have to push through. And then once you think you've done enough, you have to do more. And that's why most people don't have abs. So if you feel like you need a system in place, if you feel like you need someone to help hold you accountable and to actually get you on the right direction, the right path to getting abs, developing a 6-pack, there's a one-on-one coaching application in the description down below. Feel free to fill that out. Let me know what you're struggling with, what you're trying to achieve, and then what's got you excited to actually start this fitness journey. I believe that's it on my end. If anything in this video resonated with you, drop a like down below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.